So, hello everyone. There we are, back in round 13. But now we're featuring a very interesting matchup, we hope. It's Vlastimil Bokr against Ben Short. Ben is playing the Drampa Garbodor deck, and Vlastimil is playing the Darkrai Garbodor deck. Those decks might sound similar, but they actually really aren't. Usually you would think Darkrai is advantaged here, but what's interesting is that Ben is playing a Zygarde EX tech, which is included to combat, among other decks, this Darkrai Garbodor deck.
Yeah, so both these players are currently on 7. Was it?
They are 7, 2, and 3.
7, 2,
so
and 3.
7 wins, 2 losses, and 3 ties. So basically, they need to win out to make top cut.
Yeah. But they're still in with a potential to make it. That's the important thing.
Yeah, that's the important thing. And also, if they lose or tie, they're both out.
Yeah, so it's a lot on the line in this match, basically.
Yeah, a lot under pressure. I've just seen them as they sat down, and it looked like they were both kind of very much under pressure. And I told them just to relax. So we're not gonna pick apart all their plays, I guess.
No. I mean, we will. We won't tell them that.
Yeah, we won't tell them though.
That's that's
Vlastimil.
You ready?
Yep.
I will tell them to start.
Cool, yeah. So we just so they are supposed to have a ready start. So we just
we're just editing everything,
and we let them know that we're ready as well. So we get the.
So the round will start in like a couple of seconds. Also we're at round 13 already.
Right. So there's the time. So they're gonna start now, and so we are go.
Yeah. So already we see that Zygarde EX I talked about on the bench with the Rainbow Energy attached, and Vlastimil's gotta be feeling bad about this.
Yeah, it's not really, the last thing you want to see if you're playing a Darkrai deck, thinking, something that can actually one-shot everything in my deck with just like 1 or 2 energies. It's that's one of the main reasons why a lot of these lists have opted to play the tech with Zygarde, because it just makes this matchup so much easier. Normally, I played Drampa Garbodor for a bit, and I found in my experience against Darkrai, if you don't play Zygarde, essentially it becomes, can I get a turn 2 Berserk for 180? If I do, I win. If I don't, I lose.
Yeah. That's actually true. I mean, Zygarde, mainly it was included for the Zoroark, I think, because Zoroark is very popular. It was kind of introduced to us by the Schultz brothers at the North American Intercontinental.
Yeah.
And I myself even made top 32 with that same list.
Well, there you go.
Yeah. And Zygarde usually was used against Zoroark Drampa to kind of combat the Drampas as well as the unevolved Zoroarks. But also it really helps against the Darkrai deck, as well as the mirror match.
Yeah.
So it's a very viable tech, and we see actually quite a lot of those Zygardes in top 32 in those Garbodor Drampa decks.
Yeah, because it's especially now that pretty much all of the Drampa Garbodor lists are playing Rainbow Energy, there's just no reason to not play it, because it just gives you that edge that would just otherwise not be there. But it's like Ben's turn consisted of a Rainbow attach, Skylar, I don't remember what exactly he got, but
we'll see.
And then just a pass, and play's gonna pass back to Vlastimil, and it looks like he just played the Tapu Lele, and he's gonna grab a Sycamore for that. So imagine he's got an NG on the active as well, so a pretty fine start from him. If he has another Dark in hand, he can just Sycamore that away, and then that's the Oblivion Wing ready to go.
Yeah, I believe so, and looks like that's a decent setup for him. Obviously he wants to draw into some more Darkrais, maybe Max Elixirs.
Yeah, just all that usual good stuff. And there's the Dark in hand as well. And he's got an Ultra of the Moon too, so actually it's a really, really, really good start from Vlastimil, although he does have to get rid of the Garbotox and Garbodor, which is not ideal. That's something that we should mention actually. So this Darkrai variant is one that's playing the Garbodor line as well, which a lot of these previously have just been more focused just on Darkrai, getting more of a turbo build, but he's got that option to slow down abilities as well, which can be really good, and maybe not so much in this matchup, but in other matchups, it's very strong.
He surely doesn't mind to discard his Garbotox and Garbodor right here, but I guess if it was playing against something like Volcanion or the Sidra,
he'd be like,
he would really hate to discard Garbodor there.
Exactly.
And he's actually chosen to play a rather thick 2-2 line. We've seen a kind of 1-1 line sometimes pop up in this Garbodor and this Darkrai decks, but he really seemed to cut down on some supporters to fit the Garbodor line in.
Yeah,
so he feels like making those matchups better is more important than consistency.
Yeah, and that is the thing. You have to get the right balance between. A lot of times it depends on how big the event is as well, because obviously most regionals now are pretty large, but say for something like an international championship, you probably, with the amount of people there are, you wouldn't be able to get away with not having a consistent deck. But if there's a smaller number of players, you can sometimes compromise a little bit to give you that extra edge with the text, so that as long as you draw well anyway, then it does well enough to put you in the position that you're in now.
I think right now playing the Darkrai deck, we really have to make up for some bad matchups by taking in stuff like Garbodor.
Yeah, that's the issue at hand. So looks like Ben in his turn, he was able to get a Drampa down. He's got double colours on that, but that Tapu Lele is still stuck in the active, which that's going to pass back to Vlastimil. He's got an Ultra Ball, so you can probably get another Darkrai for this, just to get more attackers ready. Or oh no, it's actually going for the Mountain. That's interesting. He may be doing this to think, okay, so if I just in the early game maybe just do lots of Oblivion Wings, then it works out better this way. So if Ben promotes the Zygarde, then of course the Veltal resists fighting, so that's maybe a way for him to counteract this.
Maybe that's his approach to deal with Zygarde. I don't know how it will come up, because usually you just want to play the 7 prize game in like any matchup by just attacking with one Oblivion Wing Veltal, forcing a knockout on that, and then when it gets knocked out you just attack with the EX Pokemon for the rest of the game. But in this case, when Zygarde knocks out an EX Pokemon easier than a non-EX Pokemon, you might as well just go for a second Veltal.
Yeah, exactly. And something else important to consider is that Vlastimil can still technically do a 7 prize game, because he plays 3 of the non-EX Veltal, so if he does bench all 3, then he can actually do that, although it seems unlikely. Anyway, so another Oblivion Wing from Vlastimil is going to get another energy onto the field, so this Darkrai is starting to build up to the point where it could become a little bit scary, especially considering no Max Elixirs has been played just yet. I guess the other thing is that Vlastimil needs to be careful about how many Max Elixirs he plays, because every single one he plays is another 20 damage that Ben's Garbodors are doing.
Yeah, that's true. Right now we see Ben actually going for a Berserk this turn, probably. He attaches a second TCE to the Drampa. Obviously he was forced to do so, because otherwise he had to discard it with the Sycamore. Right now the Berserk does 150 damage, which will be enough to knock out the Oblivion Wing Veltal. However, the energy will be preserved due to the XP share, so it's not going to hurt Vlastimil too much. Then again, he loses one of his attackers that might be useful against Zygarde in some way. So yeah, we'll see how this works out now.
Yeah. But he does have another Dark in hand, so that's good for him. I mean, to be honest, I say he has another Dark in hand, it's a bit surprising. The deck does play 14 basic Dark Energy, so chances are that's going to be the case no matter which way you look at it. But he does opt to N instead of Sycamore, which is kind of interesting. So there might be a consideration sometimes to playing Sycamore instead of N in that case, because it guarantees another Dark Engine in the discard pile, because as you said there was a EXP share on the field, so when that Veltal was knocked out no energy actually went in the discard. But I guess as long as he draws an Ultra Ball and another Dark Energy, it's still okay.
Yeah, doing 30 damage right now actually doesn't do too much, because the Veltal is just gonna get KO'd right back. So actually if you just attack through Oblivion Wing Veltal doing 30, you're gonna lose an energy. You're not gonna lose it because of the XP share, but you're not gaining anything much from it, because you don't attach an energy to the bench.
Yeah, and it looks like
you don't have any in the discard pile.
And it looks like that's exactly what's happened, because Vlastimil's looking through and you can see that
so you might have been better off going for the Sycamore. Also maybe you could have drawn them into more cards. If you're going for the Oblivion Wing against Zygarde, you have to power it up to the point where it can use Darkness Blade, because Oblivion Wing is doing nothing against Zygarde, because Zygarde's second attack heals itself with 30 damage, so you'd actually effectively doing 0 damage to it by Oblivion Wing. So.
Yeah, I mean maybe you could do 30 if you have like the choice band, and maybe also like
but even still, it has 190 HP, so it's gonna be a long way.
Yeah, it's not a great amount of which to look at it. So we've just been given an assortment of biscuits apparently. They got Pokemon on them. It's really cool.
It's very cool.
Yeah. So anyway, going back to Ben. What's going on with Ben right now? He's got like 2 piles of cards in his hand. Is it?
It's an
Ultra
thinking
Ball.
about an Ultra Ball.
Okay.
So actually, I think he discarded a field blower and something else. Maybe even 2 field blower. That would be weird.
Yeah, no, that would definitely be weird.
Okay, so Tapu Lele for Lysander. So he must have a choice band in hand, and he's probably going to Lysander out the Darkrai that has 2 energies attached to it, and KO it with the Berserk attack.
Yeah, this is really good. This is exactly what Ben wants to do. He just wants to just race your prizes as quickly as possible, and just doing 180, 180, 180, or actually.
Yeah, and he can even attack with the Zygarde now.
Oh, that's even better. Wow.
That's really good.
That's super strong. So he can do 90 with Cell Storm, KO the Darkrai, and then heal himself completely. Wow.
Yeah, so now Vlastimil has to deal with a fully powered, completely healed Zygarde that's gonna basically knock out everything except for the Tapu Lele. And maybe the Oblivion Ring Yveltal, but as we mentioned, Oblivion Ring doesn't do much against Zygarde at this point.
Yeah, because I think there's actually no way of Vlastimil getting this Oblivion Ring Yveltal powered up to do a Darkness Blade because it's in the active, so there's no sort of options to do max elixirs.
Seems like he's still going for it.
He has got an N. Is he actually makes me wonder? I think that was a bit of a mistake with Vlastimil actually, because he could have just promoted the Tapu Lele instead. I mean, he's got the Altar of the Moon, so it's not like it can't retreat for free, and then at least he has the option to Darkness Blade if he wants to.
Yeah, that's true.
Unless maybe he's thinking, maybe I want to do Energy Drive.
Maybe he feels like Energy Drive for 100 is enough, although I would have liked to see maybe a third energy go on to Tapu Lele. Still, I mean, I don't think you're really threatened by the Drampa at this point, because of course you could retreat the Zygarde for 3 energy, but if you're then you really don't want to do that. You lose too many energies and you already committed some to retreat and discard. So yeah, that's suboptimal.
Vlastimil's just in a really, really big spot of bother, because it's just like the Darkrai is. I'm fairly sure there's not really a way for the Darkrai to one-shot the Zygarde. How many energy would you need?
You need probably 8 energies and a choice band. Or no, 7 energies and a choice band would be enough.
Yeah, that would be, because it'd be 140 for the energies, 20 base, and then the 30.
I don't think we should even try to come without choice band, because there's no way he's going to get that many energies into place.
Yeah. I mean, actually, no, he does already have 5 in play, so getting 2 more isn't completely unreasonable.
2 more isn't completely unreasonable, but I guess he needs a choice band for sure. Without a choice band, he's never reaching that 1 at KO.
And he's already attached for turn as well, so he needs to have another max elixir in hand right
another
now.
max elixir and a choice band. I mean, we've seen Carlo doing things like that, but he had artillery.
Vlastimil does not. Vlastimil doesn't even have Shaman, it's all Lele's, so that's...
Yeah, and there's a choice band in his hand, but no second max elixir. It seems like choice band and maybe Expedia, I don't know. Yeah. So he's forced to just attack with another Oblivion Ring.
Yeah.
At least this time he gets an energy.
Yeah. And it is doing 60 again.
And it's doing 60, yeah. I mean, now the Zygarde could be healed down to 30, but, well, it doesn't do much against Oblivion Ring. He can do 40 damage, if I'm not mistaken. Right now, with Zygarde's second attack. But then the Darkrai is just going to come up and knock him out.
Yeah, that's not good at all.
So maybe attacking the Zygarde wasn't the right time to attack the Zygarde yet.
Maybe I might have gone for it a little bit too early, especially because he could have gotten the KO with the Drampa because he had the choice band in hand. So maybe that was a little bit premature. And it looks like he's...
That's actually cool. Because of the Altar of the Moon, he can just retreat by only discarding the double colorless energy.
That is, wow, that's
Zygarde
really...
actually has 3 retreat, but due to Altar of the Moon it only has 1 retreat, and of course you opt to discard the double colorless energy.
Wow, that is top tier play from Ben there, noticing that and just, wow, that's...
A lot of like mediocre players sometimes forget about their opponent's stadium, and don't count that in, but we see why Ben is top 32, he's noticing that, and
That's a very, very strong play from Ben right there, and to be able to take the knockout on the Yveltal was preserving that Zygarde, which means that Vlastimil will now need a Lysander to KO it as well. And even if that does happen, then the Drampa comes in and I think basically finishes things off as long as he gets a choice band.
So now, what can Vlastimil do here? Surely he can knock out the Drampa with the Tapu Lele. Energy Drive for 120 should be enough. I think there's 60 damage on the Drampa from Oblivion Ring earlier. So that will be enough for the knockout. Taking 2 prizes.
Well, come to think of it, the other problem for Vlastimil right now is that Ben only has 2 prizes left to take. That's like really not a lot.
It surely has a lot of turns where he can just take his time, try to find a Lysander, try to find an energy, and just win with that. Also, looks like Vlastimil's items are starting to stack up in his discard pile.
Yeah, a little bit. So the Garbodor becomes a threat all of a sudden. And as a teammates.
Yeah. So with that teammates, probably gonna go for a Trash Lunch attack now. Yeah, I think that's a KO actually.
Yeah, we're doing Ben choice. Yeah, that'll do it. That's
and again,
it.
teammates comes in big for the Garbodor Drampa deck.
Yeah.
And there we see so many threats. He got the Drampa, he got the Zygarde, and then in the late game, when you don't even think about it anymore, there's the Garbodor finishing off.
Such an insane deck. That if you ever need like a textbook example of why Garbodor Drampa is so as present as it is, look no further. Like that is a very, very extremely strong performance from Ben. Will give him game 1 of this series. So then going into game 2, Vlastimil just really needs to hope that Ben doesn't run hot. Basically, I think he just needs to hope that Ben isn't able to set up a Zygarde decently or set up a Drampa quickly. I don't really see many other options for him. Actually, maybe it would help if Vlastimil also just ran a bit hotter as well, because it was only really a little bit later on when he started playing max elixirs. But then again, he also has to be careful about that, because then you have the whole issue with the Garbodor damage. So it's tough.
This variant of the Darkrai deck, the newer variant, is actually a little bit slower. In earlier formats we had Darkrai playing cards like Shaman, Trainer's Mail. They were much faster, they could set up and do like 110 damage by turn 2 or something like that, but right now you only rely on Tapu Lele. You can play 1 supporter card per turn, draw maybe 6 cards, and then you can't assume that you get those insane turn combos. So
definitely not.
Vlastimil is kind of relying on Ben maybe missing energy attachments or something like that. He needs a break definitely.
Yeah, and it's not even like you think about even say expanded Darkrai, where it's even more ridiculous. You have you can do 180, not maybe not 180, but you can do an insane amount turn 1 with all the dark patches and the elixirs, and actually soon Darkrai GX as well.
Yeah. So the term Turbo Darkrai is not appropriate for this variant.
No,
not anymore.
So. Right, so it looks like we're ready to set up. And here we go with game 2. Imagine Vlastimil will be going first.
And again, Ben opens with the Zygarde. However, I don't think it's actually optimal to open with it. Usually you just want to power it up on the bench.
Yeah.
And also Vlastimil can just right away attack the Zygarde with his Oblivion Wing Evoter, not being in danger of getting KO'd by the Zygarde due to his resistance and stuff like that.
Yeah, that's not a brilliant starting matchup for Ben at all in terms of starting with Zygarde and then seeing the one thing of Vlastimil's deck that resists Zygarde. It's like not great. We also get Tapu Lele from Vlastimil now, and it looks like that's just going to be for a Professor Sycamore, which I imagine he'll probably just play that straight away.
Like the usual game plan, just get a couple of Darkness Energies into the discard pile, and of course Sycamore is the best turn supporter on turn 1 if you just want to set up the board. So of course he's going for that.
Yeah. And here it comes. What else does he have in his hand? He's discarding. He might actually decide to do some stuff first. So he does have another HP share, that's pretty good. And the Sycamore. Yeah.
2 Darkness Energies and the useless Garbodor. So that's probably almost as good as a perfect Sycamore.
Yeah, that's very, very good for him. And it looks like his new hand's pretty decent as well. He has another XP share ready. He's got Lysanders in hand. He's got an Ultra Ball. Yeah, I think Vlastimil must be going to be pretty happy with this.
Yeah.
And he can, Ultra Ball right now and discard one of the Lysanders.
Ultra Balling right now is actually pretty dangerous because it doesn't have a follow-up supporter, so you could either go for the Tapu Lele now, which doesn't make too much sense because you could do it next turn as well. Or, that seems like that was going for.
I think that the reason why he's doing that now is because playing the Ultra Ball now and getting the Lysander in the discard guarantees, that means that if he sees a Versus Seeker later, he can still use Lysander. That's why he's done that, I think.
Well, I don't think that's actually necessary. I mean, he does play 3 Lysanders, so I think he should assume that he's going to draw into them, and as well, he could just top deck a supporter next turn. So into the Ultra Ball might be better, because if you top deck a supporter, you can just go for a Darkrai.
Yeah, that's true actually. So as you see there, it goes over to Ben's turn. He does have his own Lele. He'll be doing a search off of that. He might. Does Ben play Bridget?
Yeah, sure, he does play Bridget.
Yeah.
Oh, actually he plays Pokemon Fan Club.
Oh yes, of
Which is
course, we saw it last game.
interesting.
Yeah, I remember
Actually,
now.
very interesting. He does play Pokemon Fan Club, but no Team Magma Secret Base. Usually, the only reason I can imagine of playing Pokemon Fan Club is to be able to put down the Pokemon from hand to activate Magma Secret Base, because Bridget actually puts them down from deck.
Yeah.
So the Magma Secret Base isn't triggered. But with Fan Club, you could put them down and get some damage on those Pokemon, and then be able to do Berserk for more damage. But right now he could run it to get to be able to get a Zygarde EX, because that's an EX Pokemon, and of course Bridget is only able to search one EX Pokemon and nothing else.
Yeah.
But that's the only advantage I see for Pokemon Fan Club here.
Yeah. Also, with that argument as well, like I never really understood it personally, because say if the only time that's relevant is with getting damage on is when you have the Fan Club in hand. And you don't search off of attack with Lele. Because if you have the Magma Base and you get it off attack with Lele, you can just Magma Base the Lele and put the damage on that. So
Yeah,
the only time it makes a difference is if you open with Fan Club but no other Pokemon in hand.
Yeah. Also, Fan Club has the slight advantage that if you open with nothing but a Fan Club, you can just get a Lele,
Oh, yeah,
which you
okay.
wouldn't be able to get with a Bridget.
Okay, yeah, this is true. This is true as well.
This is just such an easy situation. I think in general, Bridget is just over that.
I agree wholeheartedly. So. Yeah, but Ben's turn was not really just a psychic attach, an N and a pass. This is kind of exactly what Vlastimil needs. Yeah. So maybe he now would be afforded an opportunity to just really go ham. Another Sycamore discarding a ton of stuff. Wow.
Another Darkness Energy in this couple, actually 2. So now he has 5 Darkness Energies in this couple, which is actually more than he wants.
Yeah, it's a bit excessive. We do see a choice band on the belt, so that's pretty good.
That's actually important. So now the Zygarde can heal up itself completely.
Yeah, he can do 60 a turn, and he's gonna want to start doing a lot of Oblivion Wings, because he needs to get all this Darkness Energy he's discarded out of the discard pile.
Right now it looks like Ben doesn't have too much in his hand. I see a couple of supporters, Garbodors, a choice band, but nothing he can really play down this turn. Oh, there's a Float Stone. It might be a okay, no trouble. Well, actually, you might just might be not the optimal play, but you might just retreat the Zygarde to something else this turn and try to power up a Drampa while you're doing it.
Yeah,
because
maybe.
I mean, attacking with Zygarde doesn't do much, and leaving the Zygarde active is just not good, because it's gonna get hit again, and then it's too heavily damaged to do anything with it.
Yeah, exactly.
Attaching Float Stone to it isn't optimal as well, because then you need a Field Blower later on to actually be able to one-shot Darkrai with a choice band that you can attach after the Field Blower. But yeah, let's see. Only gets to play another N. Right now he really needs an energy attachment, and maybe. Yeah, I think you just promote the Tapolele here actually. It's not really in danger of getting knocked out. Also, you can just retreat it next turn anyway with another Float Stone maybe.
Charge comes down from Ben. The game Float Stone is good, but his attacking options are very limited, and it looks like he just has to bring up the Trubbish.
Sacrifice the Trubbish, maybe bait Vlastimil into a premature Darkness Colds attack.
Maybe, but I think Vlastimil knows he just doesn't need to do that, and you know how we were saying at the beginning of this game that Ben missing energy would be really key for Vlastimil. That's exactly what just happened. Ben did not get an energy that turn, so that Drampa will not. There's no way for that Drampa to attack next turn at all, which is huge. Very, very bad situation for Ben right now.
Yeah, that energy attack. Those are those kind of things that Vlastimil needs to win this game. Because, I mean, we already talked about his deck not being the fastest, so he can't really rely on his own setup. He has to hope that his opponent misses a beat, and this is exactly what happens right now.
Yeah, and not only that, but it looks like he's eyeing up a Lysander. Is that going to be, he's going to Versus Seeker?
What would you Lysander here? I mean, you could Lysander the Drampa maybe to get some damage, or is that even a knockout?
Of course, the Zygarde took 60 with the choice band. Yeah, that'll be enough for a knockout.
Oh, he has a choice band as well.
Yeah.
Well, that's a knockout. That's a really strong play. He's moving all the energy
Yeah.
from the board.
That's exactly enough because there's 4 energy on board plus the 20 base plus the 30,
Yeah.
30 plus 60, 190.
And now Ben is left with nothing, and he decides to scoop immediately.
Then I think that's very wise. I think
Yeah, that's a good scoop right here. We saw a lot of players yesterday just holding on to games they already lost for too long and then losing on time because of that. Tying matches that they shouldn't have tied, but then of course making some good plays here and scooping when the game was really over.
Yeah, really strong gameplay from Vlastimil there. Just really being able to capitalize on Ben's poor draws and just setting up nicely enough to just wipe out the main threat. Ben recognizing that, and Vlastimil will take game 2, and we're moving on to game 3 with a really healthy 26 minutes left. So I don't think this game is going to end in a tie, which is good.
Yeah, that's always nice.
So
I think in this game 3, who do you think will come out on top?
I think honestly again it'll depend on Ben's setup entirely, more so than Vlastimil's. I feel like as long as if Ben is able to just set up a decent stream of attackers, he'll be in a really good spot. But again, equally, if Vlastimil could really sort of get ahead and almost, like we were talking about earlier, overextend. If he decides to play too many items, then Ben can just switch up to Garbodor and start taking knockouts and trash a bunch. But it's honestly very I feel like it's very tricky to say at this point. I feel like Ben overall has the edge with the Zygarde especially, but there's no reason at all why Vlastimil could not win game 3.
Yeah, it's true. I think what Ben needs to do in order to win this game is just draw into energies.
Yeah.
First of all.
Yeah, that would be a help.
Missing energies attachment always sucks for Drampa Garb decks. I mean, you do play, Ben plays for 13 energies, which is the usual count for Drampa Garbodor decks, which is kind of a lot of energies, but you can still whiff them. It's not entirely out of the question.
Yeah. I mean, if people can whiff energies in decks that play 14 or 15, then you definitely whiff them in decks that play 13.
Yeah. Sure.
And then Night March just never whiffs it, even though it only plays 4, but that's Night March, I guess.
That's
different.
Night March, yeah.
Thankfully confined to the realms of expanded now anyway, so game 3 is going to kick off. Ben's going first, of course, and he just goes straight away for the Tapu Lele.
He has another Trubbish in hand and a couple of more energies. So I think in this situation you could go for a Bridget.
Or
and go for the Zygarde, and actually a Drampa would be nice.
Yeah.
Here. Or even a Tapu Lele, because he doesn't actually have a follow-up supporter, so that might be what he's going for here.
Yeah.
And that's it, yeah.
So this being like the one of the niche situations where Fan Club is actually better than Bridget, so there you go.
Yeah. Ben proved his point with the Fan Club.
Yeah, he did. So down goes the Zygarde, the Lele goes to the hand. Does he have an energy to attack then? It
I believe he does have a rainbow energy to attach on the Zygarde.
Perfect.
There we go.
Yeah, this is already a much better start for Ben. And
actually, he decides not to put down the second Trubbish and just pass. I think it's fine. You don't need to put down the Trubbish here. I think he could do it, but not doing this is not like it's in his players. I think.
Yeah, it's fine. Hits for Vlastimil, so he's going to patch Dark onto that. Bench Beltor, unless was that from hand or no, was that from Max?
Yeah, that was Max Elixir.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. So, and how's the rest of his hand look?
That's actually very grim.
That is terrible.
There's only 2 XP shares and an Altar of the Moon, so he's basically forced to Oblivion wing for the time being.
Philip, I think I might have gotten some form of really bad disease from looking at that hand. That is next levels of terrible.
I can understand why. Oh boy.
Yeah.
Now seeing this.
Yeah, if Ben can capitalize on this, then this game might be quite short.
Yeah.
And that's not apparent. And it's funny because his name is Ben Short, so this game might be short. I just realised that. And that was not intentional.
Unintentional.
Yeah.
Unintentional pun.
Exactly.
So
they're the
now,
best kind.
obviously he goes for the Sycamore of the Tapu Lele. Now he doesn't mind to discard maybe a DCE with that.
He doesn't even need to. Oh, did he have 2 DCs in hand?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah,
Oh, that's a shame.
one.
Yeah. He has attached one to the Zygarde already.
Maybe even holds on to that hand.
Possibly.
But no, actually he decides to maybe put on some more pressure somehow and go for the Sycamore. However, I don't think Vlastimil is really out of the game with this opening.
Oh, no,
He still has a few turns left to top deck into something. It's not like Ben is gonna put him under that much pressure. He only has one item in this discard pile with Max Elixir, and also, as we already mentioned, Yveltal resists Zygarde, so it's not doing too much.
Yeah, and more importantly, there's no Drampa either for Ben, so there's no. That's the main thing from Ben's side. Like, a threat of KO on Yveltal, but that's just not there at all.
Yeah.
But Vlastimil looks like he did not top decking out, and he's going to be another Oblivion Wing, and then going back to Ben. He has an N. Does he have another supporter though?
Those are the situations where you don't want to play an N, but you think about, maybe my opponent's going to top deck something. I think as long as you can attach energies, you're fine not playing the N.
Yeah.
But when you really have nothing else, you should play the N.
I mean, what Ben obviously really wants to see here is a Floatstone. Oh, there's a Drampa at least, that's really good. And he does have an energy.
So, yeah.
And is that a Floatstone he has as well? If he does, that's super strong.
Yeah, there's a versus CK even, so he isn't even forced to play the N. He can just go for another Sycamore. And maybe even he can go for the. He could have gone for the Garbodor
Garbodor
right here.
Actually.
So that would have limited Vlastimil's outs, because now Ultra Ball and Tapu Lele both are outs for him to get a supporter. But if he went for the Garbodor, he could have attached a Floatstone to that, and then Vlastimil would only be able to get a supporter by actually top decking his supporter.
I don't know if Ben realises he made a bit of a mistake there. I think he discarded a bunch of Floatstones in that turn. He forgot to attach one to the active Garbodor.
Did he?
Yeah.
Oh, that's actually really big.
I mean, he drew another one, so he wasn't punished for it, but still.
I mean, he will be punished later on.
Possibly,
yeah.
Unless maybe he just discarded something else that looked like Floatstone. I actually don't. I'm actually not entirely sure.
Just promoting the Drampa and going for
big wheel. And this makes a lot of sense. I mean, doing 20 doesn't do anything, because with the we're attaching a DCE, Berserk 150 is enough to KO the Yveltal, so big wheel is fine.
But thinking about it, actually, if he went for the Garbotoxin and had attached a Floatstone to the exit, he could have already gotten a Garbotoxin by this turn.
Wow. Yeah.
So yeah, that's suboptimal for him, but we'll see. Maybe Vlastimil draws into the supporter anyway, but still nothing for him. Just another tool. It's not what he wants. He can do more damage with this, so it's not completely useless.
And it's funny, I think Darkrai is one of the decks in the format that can sort of survive dead drawing turns the longest, because it can do quite a lot with very little, if that makes sense. So you can you do these little chip attacks, and you can start maybe build things up a bit, but oh dear, that's gonna put
man.
Yeah.
There we see Zygarde already knocking out a Darkrai with a Lysandre. I mean, the Darkrai wasn't threatening at all, but of course this nets him 2 quick prizes.
Yeah. I mean, that's the power of Big Wheel, of course. There's just no way that there's going to be. I think it's a Rainbow to the ground.
Yeah, he has discarded the DC, I believe, so maybe he's not feeling confident drawing another one.
But yeah, like at this point, when you pretty much know almost for a fact that you're going to your big wheel hand is not going to get end away, then there's pretty much no reason to. Well, it just means that you're likely to have something like a Lysandre to make use of it, like it happened just there. But it looks like Vlastimil does have an N now, unless I missaw. Oh no. Yeah, I must have missed something else.
Sure looks like an N.
Oh no, it is there. Okay, I was right. Yeah.
Yeah. So there we go. Vlastimil finally drew out of it.
Yeah.
I was gonna say if it was gonna lose with this board, I was gonna say, oh, the rubbish. They could have been a supporter now.
Yeah. But no, it looks like Vlastimil is going to have a chance to get back into this game now. I mean, Ben's only getting into 4, so I mean, it's not the end of the world for him. But Vlastimil.
Yeah, but right now his board isn't too effective against what Vlastimil has right now.
No.
Vlastimil is going to do 60, effectively 30 damage per turn, and Zygarde is just four-shotting
It's not great. And you know what? That's probably why Ben opted to attach the Rainbow to the Drampa. So now, no matter what energy he draws, as long as he draws an energy, he'll be able to use the Ultra of the Moon again, trick, but discard DC, retreat to the Drampa, and do Berserk. I think that's probably why he did that.
Yeah. That actually makes a lot of sense.
Yeah. Or alternatively, what you could do is if you draw a Lysander, you can actually just KO another Darkrai. Oh, and that's the Lysander top deck.
Oh boy, that's actually huge.
And he has the energy as well.
Yeah, I mean, if you're Vlastimil, of course you want to power up your Darkrai. You don't have any other good attackers, but this just nets Ben another 2 easy prizes.
And now we're in the exact same situation we were in game 1, where it's just, Ben has gone so far ahead so quickly that what does Vlastimil do? He can't. His deck is not proper turbo. He just can't set up quickly enough to counteract something like this.
He's not prepared for that early pressure.
No, not at all. Very unfortunate turn of events for Vlastimil. What's he even grab at this point? Maybe Tapu Lele for another end. It's not great.
Probably. I mean, I think Tapu Lele could also deal with the Drampa. That's probably gonna come up next turn to knock out the Pilatos.
Yeah.
And it's not threatened to be KO'd by Zygarde. However, if Vlastimil just has another Lysander and energy, he'll have game anyway.
Actually, another interesting option that Vlastimil could have gone for. I saw him eyeing up the Lysander. Given that, again, we're not 100% sure on what the Floatstone situation for Ben is, but if he actually did discard Floatstones earlier, like we thought maybe could have happened, he could Lysander the Garbodor, and then that's a really big. It's got a retreat cost of 3. So
but the Altar of the Moon again comes into play.
He just attaches one Psychic and
and he
discards
can just attach Psychic, so there's no Lysander store opportunities for him.
Wow, yeah. Yeah, he got that Altar of the Moon is really coming to bite Vlastimil right now. It's like,
it's helping both players right now, and that's not good for Vlastimil.
No, certainly not. I didn't even completely forgot about that as well. Because the Psychic, it reduces by 2 and then provides the 1 you need to actually retreat.
Yeah. It's just evolving into Garbodor, Toxin Garbodor because he has it. I don't think that's actually too great because now he can't play another Tapu Lele anymore, and Ben's bench is already full, so he wasn't going to play Tapu Lele anyway anytime soon. So I don't know about putting down the Garbodor at this turn.
Definitely risky.
We'll see if it matters anyway.
So let's analysing the current board state right now. I'm not exactly sure what Ben has in his hand. He does have the retreat option. He has a Sycamore. Okay.
Yeah, that's good.
Looking at Ben's, Ben does play 2 Field Blower, and he does play 3 Choice Band. I don't know how many he's been for already, but if he draws like a Field Blower and a Choice Band, that would be pretty good, because then next turn he could just Lysander up the Tapu Lele to get the last 2 prizes. Or, I don't know, alternatively, what's the best option for him here?
I think he could go for the attack from Drampa, but the Tapu Lele is gonna come in for a knockout on the Drampa then. So it's not easy to say. We don't actually know how many items there are in
there's 2. Actually, Ben is sort of...
there's a die, so perfect.
Okay. Trash
2
Lance
items,
needing 40.
Trash Lance is not a great option. And seeing as Vlastimil already uses Tapu Lele again, coming back to the turns before, Ben really should have gone for the Garbodor.
Yeah.
That would have made it much harder for Vlastimil to be in a good position like that.
Yeah. This is one of those situations where perhaps Ben misses one of the smaller things. Normally, like in the last game, he was really good with it, but in this situation, might end up coming to bite him. He does have the rainbow for the Garbodor, so that's good at least. It prevents on a store target, and it means that he has another attacker ready.
So actually decides to just put 40 damage on the Oblivion Wing Evolta. That's not achieving anything much, but then again, Vlastimil doesn't have any immediate outs to kill that, to knock out that Zygarde EX immediately. It does achieve something though. It does, the Cell Storm means he can heal a bit. There is that, I guess. Yeah,
It's not
At least he
huge,
heals
but,
itself.
and going back to the last one, said, he's got to be thinking that Darkrai is so dodgy to the bench, but he has to, because he just needs something decent to attack with. But that Zygarde
that
is
Tapu Lele is way too unlikely to carry him through the whole game. That's not gonna happen. So it's kind of the awkward situation Vlastimil is in right now.
I'm trying to think now if Vlastimil can get a Max Elixir and get it to hit, I think he has a knockout at this point. There's enough that there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and with the energy it'll be 7 energy overall, so 160. Yeah. So if he gets a Max Elixir and he hits it, he has an Elixir in hand. So basically, as long as his Max Elixir hits, you can knock out the Darkrai, and he's probably fine. Or at least he's not. Oh, but he's also going to play safe. Interesting.
Going for another energy with the Tapu Lele, and now it's just less than a full game, right?
Yeah, well, if he has it.
If he has it, anyway.
Yeah, given he hasn't played it yet, he probably doesn't.
That would be the worst slow roll we've ever seen.
No.
People in the Pokemon Training game are like
No, especially not Ben. I played against Ben many a time before. He's lovely. Actually, I played against Vlastimil as well before. I played against him at World 2015.
Yeah.
It's a night March mirror. Both of them are really lovely. But okay, so Ben doesn't have the win. I think that much is obvious, and he looks like he is going to opt to go for the retreat now. And he's going for the Garbodor. Okay.
So Garbodor actually, Garbodor's not doing less damage than Zygarde at least.
Yeah, that's true, and the Zygarde is more valuable to him. So actually, this play makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, just attack with the Garbodor. It's an ODX that's not attacking for much damage anyway, so sacrificing a Garbodor isn't too bad.
Yeah, exactly.
Also, if you're Vlastimil, the only way to really knock out this Garbodor this turn is by using Darkrai, which you don't want to use because the Zygarde is still threatening on the bench.
Yeah, that would be bad news indeed. I was trying to think, can you get a knockout with the Yveltal? But you actually can't, because Darkness Blade only does 100, and Choice Band doesn't help with that at all, because Garbodor's an EX, so it's going to be 10 short. You used to play Fighting Fury Belt, I guess, and then it'll be fine. But, and you can just see from the way he's acting, Vlastimil's really struggling here. He's going to, using that Ultra of the Moon, he's going to retreat that Yveltal, he's going to bring out the other one.
Vlastimil seems to be slowly running out of attacking options here.
Yeah, and Darkness goes on to the bench Darkrai, another Oblivion Wing.
But there's no Darkness in this card now. Now he has a lot of energies in play.
Yeah. And I think maybe that's the reason why Vlastimil opted not to play Max Elixir. Again, he's just being very careful about Garbodor damage. He knows as soon as he plays another item, it's
That's
great.
also another advantage of Garbodor. Usually you just land on the Max Elixir because it doesn't matter, but against Garbodor you have to think about those kind of cards.
Yeah. Whereas normally it's such a boost to everything your deck wants to achieve. But equally, let's say Ben doesn't have the wins as he just chooses to go for another trash launch 440 and back to Vlastimil, as I think he just really wants to dig for a Lysander at this point, or he just hope he has one. No, he's got the other Dark in hand, so now
Darkness
he can.
Blade makes sense right now.
Yeah. So there we go, there's the Darkness Blade. That will take earn Vlastimil's first prize.
If you're Ben, you can probably just go in with a Drampa here. Giving up a few prizes doesn't get a true one.
No, it doesn't. Also, a really huge flip for Vlastimil. That Darkness Blade was actually a Tails, so if he wants to attack again next turn with a Darkness Blade, he'll need to Max Elixir attach and retreat to the Yveltal. That's actually a really big flip.
I would assume that this Yveltal is going down this turn anyway, seeing as Ben already promoted the Drampa, so he's probably going in for a Berserk now.
Yeah, and
he's not.
That's
actually enough for a KO as well. Just energy drive for 100 damage on the Yveltal. That is already 40 damage on it, so that's going to be exactly enough for a knockout.
Yeah, brilliant. Again, we find ourselves in a situation where, sure, Vlastimil could potentially make some sort of comeback, knock some stuff out.
I think Vlastimil is forgetting about his XP share right now.
Did he?
Okay, now I thought about it.
Okay, there we go.
Okay, great. Maybe he could get a knockout with the Darkrai. I mean, he has to knock out the Tapu Lele this turn. He can't give Ben more turns. So the only thing he can do now is hope Ben doesn't hit another energy to attach to the Zygarde and just go in for a knockout with the Darkrai. It's probably the best option right now.
Yeah, it is. But basically what I was saying before is there's just so many win options for Ben at this point because he's tried to, as much as possible, set up his board in a way where everything is an out to win. So, and there goes another item as well. There's Vlastimil options to finally play that Max Elixir.
I mean, I would assume Ben's deck is just packed with supporters and energies and stuff like that versus Seekers.
No matter which way you look at it, it's not looking great.
I mean, N2-1 is stronger, and you could actually dead draw from an N2-1, even with a lot of outs in the deck.
Yeah, it's true.
So, Vlastimil definitely isn't out of the game, but it didn't look like he had an end, so it seems like he's just forced to.
Oh.
That might actually be a nice play.
There's a knockout.
Yeah, the Drampa usually would be able to knock out the Tapu Lele, but there's a float stone attached to the Drampa.
Yeah.
So actually now it's Field Flower plus Choicement for game.
Yeah, that's
you
right.
can't just attach the Choicement.
Yeah. Oh, you do.
He does have the Field. Is that Field Flower Choicement in hand? If I'm looking correctly at this game, yeah.
He knows to play.
Yeah.
There it is.
There it is. So Ben Short wins this round, defeats Vlastimil Bokr 2-1, and stays in the run for top 8.
Yes, guys. Congratulations, Ben. You are just one more win away for him to make the top 8 because obviously he's on one of the low records, but he at least is still in with a chance. Commiserations to Vlastimil. Played really well with what he had, but it just wasn't enough in the end. Ben just was able to take too many prizes too quickly.
Yeah, that's rounded out really well, I think.
Yeah.
So, I guess that's it for this round. I hope you guys enjoyed watching, and we'll see you with round 14, the final round of Swiss, with a matchup. I think we'll feature someone who's on the bubble.
Yeah. That's we'll basically try to get the most intense matchup possible.
Yeah.
You know, we want to bring all the excitement for you guys watching at home. But until the next round, do not go away.